Hey guys, it's Davin Sundvick here with the House Hacker Tribe, and today we're going to be going over how to become a real estate agent. So as a real estate broker, I used to work for a different agency when I first started, and I was actually an investor before I even became an agent. And so I'm going to kind of line out the entire process of how to become an agent, but I'm not going to just tell you like, oh, go ahead, get your licensing and get educated. I'm going to go into some of those details, but I'm also going to show you the little things that successful agents do along the way in order to become a successful real estate agent. So let's get right into the first topic. So the first topic I want to talk about is to find a niche. And you might be asking yourself, well, you're not even licensed yet and you haven't even picked a person to work for. That'll come second. But finding a niche really actually helps you define what your goals are with your career. There's so many different opportunities in the real estate niche, and too many people just, they could just kind of like aimlessly go out and look for clients, and it doesn't really work that well. If you have, for example, let's just say you work in beer distribution. Well, you have all those customers that are bars that have certain needs. You already built relationships with those people. If one of those bars is going to move, you know all of the problems that a bar has already moved because you've already been talking to those customers for years. So maybe a commercial real estate agent where you can, lower some of your fees as far as your costs in building your career might be actually a great way to get started. You can also still sell homes on the side. It doesn't hurt your business to sell outside of your niche, but have a group of people that you can help. So maybe actually getting a sales job in a different industry that you really like could actually be a great start to your real estate career. The second thing I want to talk about is to find a good brokerage. Now, as an agent, you could own a brokerage if you wanted to. It takes some experience in order to become a brokerage owner. So if that's the path for you, it's definitely going to be slightly different than this. But as a sales agent, you really should be focused on, finding a brokerage that you're going to work for. So find a brokerage that kind of aligns with your values, people that you actually really connect with. If you enjoy working for someone, it's going to be a lot, and they actually value you as an employee, it's going to be a lot easier to work for them than to someone that maybe charges you less fees or pays you a little bit more, but you actually don't enjoy working there because you're actually not building the brand of the brokerage and you're not really growing with them. So find a good brokerage that you really feel comfortable working with before you get licensed. Don't get licensed and then try to find someone to work for. You're kind of thinking it backwards if you do that. The next one is actually seeking your education. You do need to get educated in order to work in the real estate field. There's a couple of schools that I went to. I went to the Nevada Real Estate School when I first got licensed, and then I went to Key Realty for some of my continuing education, and then my broker actually offered some classes. So I worked for Boardwalk Realty up in Reno at the time when they were still around. And at the time, because I was, an agent of the brokerage, they were giving me classes for free because I was closing a certain number of deals. So, that's another thing. That's another reason why you want to find a broker first, is because your broker can kind of oftentimes lead you into certain directions like, hey, this school's a really good one, or this one's not so good, or sometimes they give you some free opportunities. And you always want to save as much money when you're first starting your career anyway. So when you find that broker that can kind of show you the ropes and show you where to save and where to spend, your money is going to go a little bit further with starting your career. The next step is testing. Now, you do have to study for the test. Most agents fail it their first 2 or 3 times. It's not that big of a deal. Honestly, a lot of brokers would actually really like to see someone who's really persistent and can overcome the challenge of failing that test and then eventually becoming successful with it over just passing on your first time. And I can actually say that from first-hand experience. I passed the test on my first time, and my broker was joking with me, and he was telling me, hey, look, if you're one of those book smart guys, I don't know if you're going to make it in this industry because you got to be persistent here. So don't worry if you fail your test. Definitely study, practice exams. In the state of Nevada, I can't tell you in your state specifically, but in the state of Nevada, you can pull up tests a few years old, and the questions are going to be mostly the same, and they do come out with new questions each year that are intentionally designed to stump you, but you only have to get a 75% on your test. So as long as you're in that range where you're getting 100% on those easier tests that are a little bit older, well, when they have a few new questions, maybe you'll be in the 85-90% range, as long as you're getting all the questions that you know and that you've studied on correct. So study your opportunities instead of just focusing on the ones that you can't possibly know. There's going to be questions that you just simply won't know on every test, and don't worry about those. Last thing is to get hired, honestly. That's your licensing. So you're going to actually have to drive down in Nevada. You're going to have to drive down to the Division of Real Estate. Bunch of paperwork you got to fill out. You're going to have to get a business license. You're going to have to do your licensing paperwork, and you're essentially wrapping up all your education into one now that you've passed your test, and you're getting licensed with a broker, because you actually have to already have an employment relationship established with a broker before you apply for your licensing. So that's why I told you in step 2 to get that broker connection. And so now you're hired as a real estate agent. And so what are you actually doing to become successful? The first thing you're probably going to be doing is insurance. You do need errors and operations, E&O insurance, which is errors and omissions insurance. It's an absolute necessity in this business. Definitely. And also, when you're an insurance customer, you've already made a connection with an insurance agent who probably also knows a bunch of people. And this leads us right into step 2, which is networking. As an agent, your main job and what you really do is you connect people together. That's your job above everything else. You're connecting homeowners with people who don't own homes if you're in the residential real estate market. And so networking and having a team of people that can help those homeowners and support your business is going to be 100% vital. So go out there, do some networking, meet some different people and some different vendors that can absolutely help your career grow as you can help your customers. Find your value added proposition. So that goes a lot with finding your niche. Once you have a niche established, there's a lot of free work that you can do that can set you apart from other agents. In Nevada, there's so many real estate agents to choose from. Most of them are part-time people that are going after really low-hanging fruit. If you're that person who's super competitive, you want to cross that threshold of success, and you actually finally start to help people, as soon as someone can get help in this industry, you're suddenly invaluable. If you can save someone tens of thousands of dollars on just one transaction, they're going to send you so much business over the next few years that you're not going to know what to do with yourself. So this is always something that's good. Find that value-added proposition and really focus on it. And then the last thing is to find the people who actually need what you offer. I mean, you've found your niche, you're adding value, you're networking, you're growing in different levels of success. And now you just need to really find people who need your help. And if you've done some networking and you've already shown that you add value to your transactions, well, your network of vendors can probably know people that need your help. So that's another good thing of networking and why you should do good work, is because, someone that you might see as someone who needs referrals from you can also be that person that gives you a referral in return. So this is how you at least get started in your professional career. There's going to be a lot more steps in order to becoming truly successful in the real estate industry, but that is definitely the basics, how to get started as far as your day one of your career goes, where you're actually helping customers and getting paid. There's a big difference between being a licensed realtor and actually becoming a paid professional in this industry. And if you have at least followed all of those steps, you're definitely getting paid at this point. So thanks for watching and have a great day.